Hey everybody. It seems about that time to talk about some important issues that are happening, especially in the veteran community. Recently, I found out that there was a member from my previous unit that committed suicide. It's pretty rough finding these kind of things out, considering I go out and I do outreaches. I expose myself on social media, and I try really hard to be there for my community. And I know a lot of other people have done it as well. There's huge movements, especially in my previous unit, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines, to end suicide. We have all these retreats, all these things, and it seems like we're not reaching out to everybody, and everybody may not have social media. Totally understandable. But it also seems like they forget that they have the brotherhood. We all put on the uniform, we all served the country, we all went on our deployments, and we did what we had to do. I can't stop to help but think, like, what's going on in our heads, and to make us even think about it. And I really think it's our failed relationships. And I say this because, for example, when we were in the military, we didn't really have care in the world or any problems. Everything was taken care of. We got paid on time. Unless you had a relationship with a significant other during the time, that's the only stress that you had. That feet were hurting and you were hungry. That's really about it. Everything else was taken care of. And if you had issues, then you had the brotherhood. You had the guys to your left and to your right you could talk to. And it felt like there was nothing in the world that you couldn't defeat as long as you had that brotherhood. And it seems like when we take off the uniform, we forget that. Our relationships that we have, whether it be family, friends, the dudes who wore the uniform with you, it seems like we have a hard time in establishing and keeping these relationships, that we tend to feel like we're losing ourselves. I don't really talk about this, but I guess this is a prime opportunity too. I am a survivor of suicide. I wanted to kill myself once upon a time. It's embarrassing talking about, but sometimes it needs to be said. I went through a rough time, and it had to do with my failed relationships. My failed relationships to maintain friends in the military. Been in so long, had all these relationships, but people move on, and I thought when people move on, that's it. I didn't realize that my friends were close and they were wondering about me, and they cared of what I was doing. If I was on a deployment again, I didn't know better. I was just this Marine who hazed the shit out of my boots and got the job done. I was more known for my tenacity as a Marine than, my heart as a human being. Failed relationships with my son's mother. Say a lot of things, and it really doesn't matter. It didn't work out. It was hard for me to accept that, when my whole life is based off of loyalty and, trusting that someone would take care of their own side of work in order to meet common goals. And then later down the road, I met someone else, and I fell in love with her, and it seemed like everything was going to work out, and it didn't. And I had a huge internal struggle with trying to understand why this didn't work. why am I so sad? Why am I depressed? And it's because I hold on to these values, especially when I was a Marine. I still am a Marine, but when I was on active duty. Loyalty. It's something that once you lose it, it just feels like crap. And that's really what it was for me. I just had all these failed relationships that I thought were failed. And I couldn't accept it. I took it personally, and it led me down this path of depression, and I couldn't handle it. To the point where I tried to drown myself. Multiple attempts to hurt myself with things that are readily available, like my medication, alcohol. I don't drink alcohol anymore, and it's because I had another episode, and I realized that my life is worth living. The great things that I've done, the great things that I do, and I still deal with depression and PTSD and all this other crap. But what I really needed to believe in is myself. And all I had to do was try every single day to just live. Life is worth living. There are great things in the world that I have yet to see, that I still want to see. There's people that I still want to meet. There's devils and my old corpsmen and people that I've worked with before that I want to see again one day. And I want to tell them the crazy adventures and stories that, that I have. I want to share that with them. I did this crazy trip to the Philippines that opened up my mind, but opened up my heart. And I see the value in what I need to do now. I want to share that with everybody because life is worth living, no matter what. Once again, like always, you're never alone. Stay in the fight. Stay alive. Thanks, everybody. I love you. We need to talk about this, because we don't. Suicide is an issue. If you're dealing with it, or you know somebody who's dealing with it, talk about it. Get help. Help is there. I love you all. Take care.